view, reaching you live from our audio-visual studio, 32 FM. We are located on the 4th floor, Cocoa House, Dugbe, Ibadan. I am Olutayo Gwade, and I'll be treating you to stories here from the dailies. I have The Punch, The Guardian newspaper, Premium Times, Daily Trust newspaper right here. All right, let's start off from Daily Trust newspaper. Train attack, Kaduna receives luggage of 100 affected passengers. Killer children on the prowl, murdered 88 parents in 6 years. Oscar slap, Will Smith resigns from the academy. Okay, subscribers grown as Kogi government telecoms tango over tax. Sultan announces sighting of moon. Ramadan begins today. 17 killed in broad daylight as terrorists raid Zamfara communities. Inside Maiduguri's notorious Kasuwan Farah. Okay, some more from Daily Trust newspaper. Another bomb found in Kaduna community. Terrorists gunned down. Residents abducted in fresh Kaduna attack. Concern over recurring failure of foreign-trained doctors. 2023 presidency PDP committee to jettison zoning. Okay, let's see some more from Daily Trust before we go to another paper. A British firm to fix a Jakarta steel for free. Federal government, okay, for free. Okay, Kogi government to declare for governor to declare for presidency. Okay, let's move to another paper. We go to Premium Times, and my first story here: 9 dead, 50 injured in Jigawa auto crash. FRSC, a sad one. 2022 World Cup draw. African teams have tough battles. Nigerian flavor in Doha. Agony trauma as passengers aboard attacked Kaduna train recount ordeal. Appeal court dismisses suit seeking sack of Umahi deputy. Gunmen attack another Imo police facility, 5th in 1 month. One dies in another Kaduna train incident. Okay. Feel Buhari's unkept promises. Buhari's unkept promises, failures, and bungled subsidy policy. Nigeria blames Google for allowing fraudulent online lenders. Nigeria blames Google for allowing fraudulent online lenders. God told me I'll be Nigeria's next president aspirant. Buhari orders security agencies to dismantle cultists in Ogun. Nigeria's police chief meets IPI Nigeria, promises to check violation of journalists' rights. How NAFDA scaled through 868 hurdles to bag WHO maturity classification. That's according to the DG. Russia-Ukraine war. US calls for strong African response. And moving to the Guardian newspaper, train attack, security threats rising, need new strategies, says Niger president. Okay, that's from the Guardian. Dealing with unbearable cost of housing. Something to also read from The Guardian. Harmonized Nigeria investment policy may be ready this year. 2023 Indigbo to detractors, treat us fairly. Federal government set to enforce NIN SIM rule, urges citizens to complete linkage in days. Okay, still from The Guardian. Keep your money in licensed banks. NDIC charges Nigerians. Jonathan harps on unity. SOB blames nation's woes on leadership failure. Lagos PDP faults IU's ratification of state congress. Some more from The Guardian. Let's go to the sports side. No group of death in 2022 World Cup. No ban on Moshood Abiola National Stadium. VAR not stolen. And from Punch newspaper, why poly lecturers are embarking on strike. ASUB arrest anyone enforcing sit at home in Anambra. IPOP tells Soludo, I faced lots of bullying as a child due to my skin color. Shan George, I would have been better than a Guavon Raw. A terrorist killed 1,545 in Kaduna, Zamfara, others in 90 days. This is disturbing. UK jails Nigerian 4 years for instigating violence against Igbo. How my sorrow disappeared when I lost my son in 2021. Adeboye, Simnin policy, 20.4 million Nigerians risk disconnection from GSM services. APC Transition Committee probes party's finances after Boni's exit. And Moon cited 2022 Ramadan starts today in Nigeria, Sultan. I take my first break. I'll be back.
FM 94.9.
àròrọ̀dá òjò iṣẹ́ ìyanu nínú ìjọ Cathedral of Jesus Evangelical Ministry ló ti ń rọ̀ tí Olúwa Elédùmarè Ọlọ́run májẹ̀mú atóríṣẹ́ sì ń ṣiṣẹ́ ìyanu láti pàṣẹ ìránṣẹ́ àyè rẹ̀ Apostle Adérẹ̀mí Adélékè la ṣe ní kí wọn náà gbéra pa láti wá wẹ̀ nínú odò ìyanu mánigbàgbé ní gbogbo ọjọ́ ìsinmi Sunday ní dédé aago 9 dago 11 òwúrọ̀ ní Cathedral of Jesus Kingdom Evangelical Ministry tó kalẹ̀ sí Baálẹ̀ Adétókun Street off Ológun Ẹrú Ẹlẹ́ẹ̀lẹ́ Road Ìbàdàn. Ọ̀pọ̀ onípòjìpò ló ti ń jẹ́rìí sí agbára Olúwa Elédùmarè níbi tí ìdè ti ń já tógun wọn ti ń ṣẹ́ tí wọ́n sì ń làlùyọ pẹ̀lú ìyanu ojú ẹsẹ̀. Aago 9 sí 11 láàárọ̀ ní gbogbo ọjọ́ ìsinmi Sunday ni o. Fún àlàyé tàbí ẹ̀bì àdúrà ẹ pè 0805-057-3340. Olùgbàlejò Apostle Adérẹ̀mí Adélékè ni tó bá lè wá ọ̀rọ̀ tiẹ̀ náà dayọ̀ lórúkọ Jésù.
Right after the day's breakfast. Yummy. With Mama Doll's bread for bread. Yummy. We love his rich and buttery taste. Yummy. We love to have it with our bread. Yummy. Nutritious. Mama Doll's bread for bread. We like it. Mama Doll's bread for bread. Delicious. Mama Doll's bread for bread. We love it. Mama Doll's bread for bread.
New Mama Doll's bread for bread. It gives you the right nutrients and energy to be your best each new day. New Mama Doll's bread for bread. Deliciously nourishing for a bright start.
Congratulations to schools, parents, and pupils in Ibadan. Primus Media Club has landed in the ancient city. Yes! Discover and sharpen pupils' basic media and communication skills like public speaking, creative writing, oratory, virtual communication, among others. Primus Media Club for secondary students and pupils in primary 3 upward. We don't just teach and train. We engage and expose members to different fun activities where they win exciting gifts and prizes. And the big one, members of our club present our radio shows from time to time. Primus Media Club, more than just a press club, a debating society or a social club. It's all encompassing. Proprietors, directors, and parents, reach us now to establish Primus Media Club in your school. Call Afuda on 0816-274-6129. Primus Media Club, safeguarding the future, one fan at a time.
Living the life because I get Tizeti. Yes, sir. Nigeria's most affordable internet service provider, Tizeti Network Limited, is now live in Ibadan. Oh yes, Ibadan residents can now enjoy our truly unlimited internet service too. Tizeti prides itself on providing the lowest cost of unlimited internet access to residential and small business customers. You can now browse, stream, and game 24/7 at an amazing speed, and with an uncapped data plan. Connect to Tizeti's fast and limited internet service for just 12,500 naira only per month. Simply pay 59,500 for installation and enjoy a 1-month subscription for the residential plan. What more? Visit wifi.com.ng/OYO to sign up or call 090-8749-3040, 090-8749-3040, or send email to internet@wifi.com.ng to get started now. Unlimited internet on Yolowa.
Love Matters with Benga Denka and friends is here again with Bustin' Loose. Come see Tenny Makanaki, Omobaba, Cleans the Drunk, Lighter, Bash, Brother Shaggy, Testimony Jaga, Odogu, Dr. Smile, Boys Olorun, Beteru, Remote, Kenzo, Babalaria, MC Danfo, Larry J, Warisi, Makati, Prince Fella, ATM, Eteye, Archbishop, Dr. Whiteberry, General Olak, GKB, Oracle Magic, DJ IK, Flexible Fatia, DJ Fini, DJ Sexy. Easter Sunday, 17th of April, 2020. 2022. Jogger Center, Ibadan, 3 p.m. Tickets, table of 6, diamond, 500K, gold, 350K, silver, 250K, VIP, 10K, regular, 5K. Tickets available at Hair Sense Palms Mall, all Ace supermarket outlets, Gracie Mata Kobo, all Food Court supermarket outlets, all Grandex store outlets, all Ultima restaurant outlets, Film House Cinema Dugbe and Samonda, and online at ariatickets.com. Brought to you by Maltina, supported by Oyo State Government, Revolution Plus Property, and Minimi. No face mask, no entry. Love matters. Omaze.
Media partner
32 FM 94.9.
Alhamdulillah. 32 FM Islamic Quiz 2022 ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì irú ẹ̀ tún ti dé o. Gbogbo ọjọ́ Monday, Tuesday àti Wednesday làwọn ọmọ yóò fi láǹfààní àti pè wọlé dáhùn béèrè tí àwọn ọmọ tó bá gba máàkì tó pọ̀ jù yóò fojú rinjú lọ́jọ́ Thursday lórí rédíò láti mọ̀ ta ni olùborí fún ọ̀sẹ̀. Báyìí la ó ṣe fún ọ̀sẹ̀ mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rin nínú Ramadan ní gbogbo aago 12:00 sáago kan ọ̀sán 12:30 p.m. to 1 p.m. tó bá wá dọjọ́ ọdún ìtúnu àwẹ̀ làwọn mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rin tó borí lọ́sẹ̀ kọ̀ọ̀kan yóò kojú ara wọn láti mọ̀ ta ni yóò gbégbá orókè gan nínú ìdíje 32 FM Islamic Quiz 2022. Àwọn ẹ̀bùn kànrìnkànrìn bíi ilẹ̀, fìríìjì, fáànù, owó tabua àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ ló ti wà nílẹ̀ fún àwọn olùkópa wa. Àwọn ọmọ tí ọjọ́ orí wọn wà ní ọdún 8 sí 15 8 to 15 ló lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ láti kópa nínú ìdíje yìí. Ẹ pè Ayédùn 0708 319 6095.
Every day is another chance to do it all over again.
Get the best of starts on the break of dawn. 32 FM 94.9.
Only 16 billion for capital expenditure. The remaining 406 billion were for recurrent expenditure. In addition to this, there was 100 billion naira allocated for Operation Lafia Doli. In 2021, we budgeted 460 billion for Nigerian Army alone. Only 29 billion was for capital expenditure. The remaining were for recurrent expenditure. In 2022, we budgeted 571 billion for Nigerian Army alone. Only 37 billion is for capital expenditure. The remaining were recurrent expenditure. Mr. Speaker, the truth of the matter is security in Nigeria has become a cash cow business. I am not willing to go without taking my own, and he is not willing to go without taking his own, and the other person is not willing to leave until when he got his own turn. Mr. Speaker, it's a cash cow business. They don't want it to finish because they realize that everybody's attention was diverted towards Northeast. Okay, let them relieve Northeast to some extent and move to Northwest. After Northwest, they move to Southwest. Before you realize what is happening, the whole country is gutted with security challenge.
Weekend edition of the Breakdown newspaper review reaching live from our studio 32 FM 94.9. That was Amadou Jaha, a member of the House of Representatives. He said insecurity has become a cash cow in the country. My name is Olutayo Glade. We go straight to the analysis of the program. Now, Austin Adumo should be joining me on the program. I guess Austin is right here. Good morning to you, Austin Adumo.
Hello, Tayo. Good morning.
Good to have you this weekend.
Thank you for having me.
Fantastic. Well, I just, played a sound now from Jahu, a member of the House of Representatives. You said insecurity in this country has become a cash cow. Let's talk insecurity. We still have, we had some bombings yesterday around the country. Kaduna is still very much facing a heat as we speak?
Yes, Kaduna is the hotbed for now. Like the lawmaker has said, it's an indication of failure on the part of the Nigerian military. Because I find it very, very unreasonable, a situation where the location of bandits can be discovered and nothing is done to ensure that we take them out. So what is the government doing as far as this information is concerned? It has become like a mega enterprise. You need to know how these top military generals feed fast from security funds in the country. In the last 10 years or so, if you look at some area wherein the National Assembly has voted funds, it is actually the area of security because they see it as unaccounted funds. And every Nigerian wants security situation to improve in the country. So top military guys feed fat on this fund without necessarily getting results. Look at service chiefs, for example. They come, they go without meeting the expectation of Nigerians as far as security of lives and property is concerned. So I think government really has to beam a satellite on this. We have evidence to prove that military funds are being taken. Before this administration, for example, we look at the funds that were expended by the former office of the National Security Advisor. I think nothing has really changed. Under this administration, there was a particular general that I don't want to mention who had to transport 400 million cash from one location to the other. Where could a general get 400 million cash? It's as a result of this security fund. So people feed fat on it without government doing so much.
So clearly, Austin Udumo, clearly the current security architecture is not working. But, you know, as a nation, we cannot continue to throw money at a defective structure. So what do we need to do?
That is where the political will comes in. The current structure is not working. Like I said on this platform, I think 2 days ago, the whole stretch of the Abuja-Kaduna rail is around 300 kilometers. And the troubled area or the black spot is just less than 30 kilometers. Does it mean that we can't effectively police? Now that we have identified the problem, how do I know that these are the trouble area? That is the area in the thick forest. October last year, when they first of all decided to bomb the raid track, it was during this area. Gunmen, the terrorists have always attacked in this particular axis. That is all the attacks so far on the Abuja-Kaduna rail has happened in this particular area. Apart from security gadgets, which Amechi talked about, does it mean that we do not have the manpower in terms of surveillance to police this particular area until we have quantum loss of life before we now decide to act? So the federal government, especially Mr. President, need a lot of political will to be able to deal with the issue so decisively. We need the Nigerian military to also be proactive. You look at, I think on Monday or Tuesday or so, when the match was to be played in Abuja, we got a report from the DSS, an intelligence report, that some group of people, a flawed group of people in the country, were planning to attack the MK Abiola Stadium in Abuja. How come the attack that happened along this train line, these same intelligent operatives have failed to notify the public that such and such attack will happen? And when that happened, a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria came out to say boldly that I actually predicted that it will happen, and it happened. And that minister is still holding office right as we speak this morning. So the federal government needs a lot of political will to be able to deal with this situation. They are not ghosts.
Now, what we've also noticed is that some of these guys that we refer to as repentant, Boko Haram members or bandits or terrorists, as the case may be, what they do lately, what we've witnessed lately, is that they have infiltrated, the system, and they are unleashing mayhem, more harm and havoc on the country. It also looks as if, is it because we're getting close to 2023? Is that why we have a spike, in the activities of these guys?
Of course, yes. There will always be a spike. In a situation where security is not this porous, towards election, there are a couple of cases of high level of insecurity that is associated with election, especially in the build-up to a national election in the country. So what the government needs to do is to intensify efforts. There are ways and manner that things are being traced in the country. I don't believe that these terrorists cannot be taken out. The federal government is also hypocritical and insincere with the idea of rehabilitation of repentant Boko Haram. How do you justify, or at what point do you get convinced that a terrorist has now repented? That is what we are talking about. It has never really worked in the Nigerian situation. Ali Udume came out when the federal government started the Safe Corridor Initiative, that this thing has not really worked, because there was a case of an individual that was purportedly rehabilitated, and shortly after that he had to kill his father and provided intelligence for terrorists to attack a particular community. All of this we have said to the federal government. I don't know what they want to score, what cheap political points they want to score with this aggressive drive of rehabilitation of repentant Boko Haram. People are still being killed on a daily basis. If you even talk about rehabilitation, it will be very close to the end of the war or when the war has ended. They are still very much effective. Now they have migrated from the northeast. They are domiciled most especially in north west now. Kaduna has been their safe haven.
Now, looking at, the presence of military establishments in Kaduna, it's supposed to be a no-go area. I mean, you have the 1st Division, Nigerian Army, Nigerian Defense Academy, Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji, Nigerian Air Force Base, Air Force Institute of Technology, Ground Training Command, the Army Training Depot in Zaria. If you look at all, the establishments that you have in that state, it's supposed to be a no-go area. And if this is happening in that state, what is the hope for other states or the country at large? And so it speaks to the sincerity of those in authority, which you mentioned earlier.
See, Tayo, there is high level of compromise as far as this issue is concerned. How I wish the federal government would deal with this issue frontally. 2 days ago, we debated the issue of non-deployment of the Tucano jet. We spent billions of naira to acquire this equipment. Why is it so difficult to deploy them? So there is dilly-dally. There is this soft spot on the part of the federal government, not wanting to halt them. Yesterday, a former senator had to come out to mention the leaders of this terrorist group who are hibernating in our forest. Once in a while, they come out to dialogue with governors, with those in government, and at the end of the day, they go back to their forest. They grant interview. They are not ghosts. They are known people. It is lack of political will to actually deal with the situation. So I think the federal government needs to act fast, not so as not to put the life of the people in jeopardy. It has become like a recurring issue in the country, and it's becoming normal gradually that we wake up, people get killed in dozens and nothing happens. All the federal government will do is to send condolences. All of that has to stop. I think we need to take human life very seriously in the country, and the government has to do more. Look at the picture we have just painted. The Greenfield University that was attacked sometimes ago was not very far from the Nigerian Defense Academy. It was in the same axis. Immediately the Greenfield attack happened, we suggested at that time that something urgently must be done, except the Nigerian Defense Academy will be invaded. Few months later, that particular prediction came to pass, and the federal government says not to be bothered. If there's any state that is fully fortified in terms of security in Nigeria, one of those states should be Kaduna. But look at what we have looked at. Look at what we are experiencing today. The people have deserted the Kaduna-Abuja highway. Now, gradually, the terrorists have been able to force them back to the road. They have forced them back to the road so as to be able to carry out acts of kidnapping without being checked. So how come we are not the federal government has been able to checkmate some group in the country? How come we have been unable to checkmate these guys? We know they are forests. We know where they are. Sometimes ago, somebody was going to the forest. DSS security provision was made for the person. How come we find it difficult? Is it until totally the country is overrun? And look at the conspiracy theory. Because of the dilly-dally and selective method of judgment or selective method of implementation of security strategy in the country. That is why some people have the opinion that there could be a sinister agenda. I think the federal government has to prove beyond reasonable doubt to say that we do not have a hand in all of this. Let us deal with the situation decisively and allow our people to have their peace.
All right, well, this headline from the Guardian newspaper, Niger Republic President Mohamed Bazoum has said African countries battling terrorism need to come up with new strategies for dealing with the challenges. He spoke at the State House yesterday after his visit to President Buhari, and he said West African region is battling an increased level of security threats, especially in the wake of recent attack on the Abuja-Kaduna train. He said we need to come up with new strategies for dealing with the challenges.
I believe so. We need to come up with new strategy. It has never been this bad before. So whatever the government has to do, let them do it. The idea of government officials coming on board to make conflicting statements. You know, in the wake of this spike in insecurity in the country, some people, some insensitive individuals in this government still believe that we are safer now than before. You know, that statement came barely a week ago. And on Monday, the terrorists had to prove to the whole world that we are most unsafe now.
I know we've also talked about changing our security and policing architecture without help. And are we looking in that direction?
Of course, the government is not looking in that direction. That, to a large extent, will help. Because, for example, if we have state police, the governor, for example, will be able to take adequate charge of security operation within their state. Of course, some people are afraid for its political dimension that if we allow governor to take charge of state police, they will use it to their political advantage. And we have said before, these same governors will not be in office forever. If you want to use state police to your political advantage, by 4 years, 8 years at most, your tenure will expire. We saw a governor recently that was arrested. Why? Because he lost immunity. He lost immunity just few hours, and he became an ordinary citizen, and he could be arrested. So it will not last forever. I think the federal government should look in the direction of state police, because governors to a large extent are handicapped. They have to wait. Of course, we blame El-Rufai, we blame the governor. You are not doing this, you are not doing that. They don't have absolute power in terms of security structure in their various domains. But look at the Tucano jet that we talked about yesterday. We need series of approval upon approval to be able to deploy a Tucano jet, even in extreme cases of wanton destruction of life and property. You know, that is the way it works. So for me, I think that we need to tinker with the security structure. The current structure that we are having is not being proactive. It's not yielding any good result any longer. So if we have a situation that is not working, rather than saying that the other one that we have not tested from will not work, why can't you try the other one? Try the other one. Then if that other one refuses to work also, then we'll now go back to the drawing board. But the truth of the matter is that we need to change the security architecture of this country. You know that attack will happen. You know that an area is porous, and yet you turn a deaf ear until that attack happens. And at the end of the day, you send condolence. Go to the forest and take out this terrorist. You said there will be little collateral damage, and you have refused to do that. And what are we suffering? Our people are being killed. We said that if we go to the forest to kill them, few people might be killed, and we left them. They are now killing our people in dozens. So how do we marry that? So for me, the security architecture is faulty. Lack of political will is another issue. Then on the other hand, there is this issue of soft spot, having a soft spot for terrorists. I have never seen that happen anywhere.
That is what beats our mind. We can't wrap our head around, such posture, in the face of this, we really do not understand this, as a country.
The body language of those, the body language of those in government. The Inspector General of Police is from the north. The Chief of Army Staff is from the north. The DSS DG is from the north. The head of intelligence unit is from the north. The National Security Advisor is from the north. So where do we go from here? We need to act so decisively. It is as if people are doing this provincial stuff that, oh, these are my people and we can't touch them. But when it comes to other section of the country, you see military might in full force. So the government had to balance things up. I told you before, terrorism before this administration was only confided to the northeast, most especially 3 states of Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe. But now it has gradually spilled over to the northwest and north central. Kaduna is their base now, their headquarters. Like we have the military headquarters in Kaduna, we also have terrorist headquarters in Kaduna. I think this is shameful for the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Right, you may share your thoughts on our Facebook page or YouTube page. Drop your comment there or question for us. We'll go on another break. We'll be back.
Hello, Kashi, Papa Kwada, there, Abi.
Every day is another chance to do it all over again.
Get the best of starts on the break of dawn. 32 FM 94.9. From motivationals
To news,
to sports and talk.
we'll give you all you need to make the best of your day.
On the break of dawn. 32 FM 94.9. Mornings are for dreamers.
I'm a dreamer, yes, I'm a dreamer. Oh.
The break of dawn for champions.
Champion, 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 champion.
On 32 FM 94.9.
Welcome back. Looking at most of the headlines this morning, it's all about security matters or insecurity, as the case may be. The governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, has threatened to bring in foreign mercenaries to fight terrorists hibernating in forest area around Kaduna State if the federal government under President Buhari fails to tackle the terrorism head-on. Okay, that's what we have from Daily Trust here. News paper. Austin Udomo is back on the program. Austin, I said, well, from the look of things here, looking at the headline, it's all about insecurity. And the El-Rufai, who seemed to, he seemed to have gotten his, seemed to get his act together now, says it may bring in mercenaries to fight these terrorists if the federal government does not really do something for them.
Yes, El-Rufai too is equally playing to the gallery. He has not also helped matter to a large extent. I will tell you why. Why is he contemplating this now? The governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Zulu, has always been at the forefront of the call for mercenaries to come back. You know, before President Muhammadu Buhari took over, mercenaries were on ground, put in place by former President Goodluck Jonathan to fight this terrorist group. In the build-up to 2015 general election, for about 6 weeks that the election was postponed, it was with the help of these mercenaries that we were able to push them. An election took place in some remote community in Borno State and across the northeast. Now, El-Rufai is talking about bringing on board mercenaries. He has never talked about mercenaries before. So what is that saying? That is what I said earlier. We said state police will be abused. Is the federal police not being abused? If mercenary will be the solution to advance and win this war, why don't we look in that direction? But the federal government has ruled out the possibility of hiring mercenaries simply because they are economic fighters, simply because they fight for their money and they don't care about the state. If that will help us, meanwhile, terrorists, Boko Haram terrorists, even the bandits, the terrorist group that we still refer to as bandits in Nigeria, they employ the services of mercenaries to fight against the Nigerian state. So that is what we are talking about. They recruit people on a daily basis. So for me, if this is the idea of Nasir El-Rufai, number one, it is belated. Number two, it is a welcome development. We can look in that direction because it seems that there is high level of compromise within the top hierarchy of the Nigerian military. Some of the top military guys are even richer than some politicians in the country today because they have seen money. Some people are talking about coup. They don't have coup in their agenda. Their own is to also come and make money like the politicians do. That is the agenda. So they don't care whether the war succeed or not. They don't care. So for me, whatever method, we have told this government, especially the federal government, any method that can work, let us embrace the method. At least try it for some time. And if at the end of the day it becomes counterproductive, you will withdraw. That will be an excuse to convince Nigeria that this route is not the route to go. When the federal government came on board, they said, no, they want to remove subsidy. They did not study it very well. For like 2 years, they did not pay subsidy. Now we are back to subsidy. And they are paying in multiple fold what they condemned before. Rather than condemning it, why don't you study the template? If there are areas of corruption, then you plunge the leakages. That is the best thing to do. When the federal government, this Buhari administration came on board, he met the initiative of pipeline surveillance across the country. What did the Buhari administration, what did they do? They scrapped that particular initiative. They said it was as a result of corruption. But today now, this Buhari administration is talking about over 80% oil theft in Nigeria, which means that out of the total exploration that we do in Nigeria, over 80% are stolen in this same country. Yeah. So where do we go from here? So El-Rufai should come up with this template. Whatever that can be done, I don't care. My own is that secure life and property. People cannot be traveling and they are killed just like chicken. It shouldn't be.
All right, we're taking your feedback people now. Dear listener, 009 700949 0705 500949. Sorry, I buttoned there. Good morning, Tayo. Terrorist skill 1,545 in 90 days. So sad. Our federal government failed to do the needful at the right time. So sad that the APC-led administration failed to be proactive enough and uncaring for the lives and properties of the masses. That's Sulaiman Sharif on Facebook. Hello, good morning.
Our inability to call spade a spade will eventually harm for us, either now in the nearest future. Also, thank you for your analysis there. While the federal government has been quick to respond to perceived enemies of state with intimidating military might, the same federal government has not been able to match killer squads and bandits with equal action. And you can follow the David Umahi case as the Supreme, as the State Court has equally came up with its own pronouncement yesterday. So, and I think that the only option left for PDP now, apparently, is to go to the Supreme Court for final pronouncement. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Hello, good morning. The line dropped. Hakim Adiaye on Facebook says, Austin, I love it when experts discuss very complex issues like security. I'll come back to your message. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. I can hear you. What's your name?
Yes, my name is Manuel.
Okay.
Thanks. I'm calling from Pelele. Thanks to Austin for the analysis. It was a great one. And actually, that makes me understand how this government has been trying to govern this country. Actually, they are driving the ship of this country recklessly. Honestly, these are people, they know where they are. They know where they are situated to. You know, we have people that have been intermediary, trying to bargain with them. So obviously they know where they are. And these people are cleaner people. The best thing to do is to eradicate them. And this style of giving them amnesty and sending them overseas for studies, it has never worked. They've been doing all these things, and these people, they never stop killing. So my conclusion is APC administration, I don't think they know how to govern. Because if they know what govern is to, the first thing is to protect the life and property of the citizens. But this EPC administration, they lack those things. They don't care about that.
Thank you, Manuel.
Good morning. My name is Emmanuel.
Thank you for your comment. Austin?
Yes, I'm with you.
Oh, okay. So you're listening to the feedback too?
Yes.
All right. Let's take another one here. Hello, good morning. Oh, the line dropped. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
God bless the analyst. You really speak the truth. To be sincere with ourselves, all the our military bucks that came from the north, they're supposed to know the nitty-gritty, what's going on over there. Over to 3 months now, the record of terrorists, bandits is very bad, so sad. And what's painful is that the president that is there, we know that he's a retired general. From his experience, he's able to tackle those insecurity matters. That's the reason why we voted for him in 2015. And he promised heaven and earth to do the necessary. And the primary objective of good government is the property of life of the people. What we are seeing now is out of control. I don't know what is going on. I'm appealing to the government to do the needful, because lives of the people is very paramount. Even if a government use goods to build some.
Hello. Okay. Let me take this one. Good morning, Tayo. Terrorist. Okay. I think I took this earlier. And also, this is from Raja Fiza Bidemi, who said Nigeria is bleeding and our citizens are weeping. We have lost our values. And he says the federal government is not doing anything. Also, Ndumo on insecurity. Well, I mean, we have to say it. Just before I let you go, what's your advice, okay, on a way out of what we are currently experiencing in this country? What is the panacea for Nigeria's insecurity?
Yes, the solution is that the federal government must act decisively. The era of these are our children. The era should go. Let whatever means we want to employ, it will be in the direction of mercenary. Let us bring them and take up these guys. Because from all indications, it shows that our military guys, they are overwhelmed. I know they have the capacity. But what is slowing down the capacity to act? So there must be political will. We can't look at Buratai, for example. He spent over 60 months in office as the chief of army staff without achieving the desired result. So we must get to a level where there will be a timeline. Even if we were to take Nigeria to change service chief twice or 3 times in a year, we do not care. Give them a timeline. Within 60 days, also number of things must happen. And if that is not done, let them go. But first of all, it depends on the body language and the political will of Mr. President. He must deal with the issue decisively. This is a clarion call for all of us. We can't continue to have a situation where a whole trade will be attacked and people are killed, murdered in cold blood in a country where we have government. All of that has to stop. And if there is underdealing within the Nigerian military, let them probe the situation. This is not the first time that will be happening. I wonder how this administration will look like if they leave power, because there will be a lot of funds that is stolen, especially security funds. I'm telling you this morning, what was discovered under Sabo Dasuke will be just 1% of what could be discovered under the current service chiefs, under the current security structure that we have. We have to deal with the issue. We have voted most part of our resources on security, and that is the area where we suffer most.
Well, come to think of it, I just wonder. I mean, if you criminally divert all of this money, for personal, use, you can't sleep on 3 beds at the same time. You can't ride in 2 cars at the same time. There's a measure to what an adult can even eat if you don't want to run yourself into troubles. All right. So, I mean, to what end?
Nobody cares.
How much is enough?
Nobody cares about this. No money or nothing is enough for a greedy person, especially if you are in Nigeria and you know that you are likely going to get away with it. So no amount of money, no amount of resources is enough. You are thinking that way because you still have your conscience. Those who have lost their conscience will not think that way. Do you know that these terrorists, they are building multi-billion empire for themselves? They collect ransom. Do you know the implication of that? Where terrorists
we have to go. We have to go. Thank you for sharing your time.
Thank you so much. Enjoy your weekend.
Have a great weekend too, Austin. Thank you, dear listener, for your time. We have to go. Leave the studio now. At 7 o'clock, you can join Temilade Aloko on Baba Fendo. At 8, join Crystal, Sporting Crystal on Soweto. At 9 o'clock, Chike Gwagwo will be right here on the podium. Have a great weekend from me, and bye for now.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are those